Joining us now is Dennis Smith, Senior Account Executive with Archer Financial. Dennis, thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, Robert. Good morning.
Good morning. We will start with the grain markets. How are they looking on this Friday morning?
It's a quiet session. Corn is near unchanged, up 1/4%, 376.5, although that's near the high. Soybeans, May soybeans are down 2 1/4, puts them at 963 3/4, and actually that's near their low for the overnight trade. In the wheat market, May wheat's up 1/2 cent, 4.95, and that is on their high. So narrow ranges, corn and wheat near the high, soybeans near the low.
Now, we've had a very dry time of it up here in the northern plains. Good for planting, but at what point do we start to get concerned about the lack of moisture?
Yeah, that's right, Robert, and we should now start focusing pretty much solely on the weather patterns, planting progress, acreage, and the market's not worried about it yet. In fact, we're starting to really discuss that in the office. When does it get worried? When does the weather pattern have to change before we've got a real problem? The market is clearly not concerned yet, although yesterday corn pressed pretty hard. That new crop December corn was below $4, but it showed some recovery. All of the contracts closed on their highs, and we're holding that today. I think it's possible we're kind of putting some lows in, and the market's going to start working back up. So I believe we tested the bottom end of the range. Now we're going to start working back up, but the market is clearly not concerned about the weather yet.
Now, we're moving from spring into summer here in the northern hemisphere. The opposite down in the southern hemisphere. How are things looking down south?
Oh, that's fine. They've had a big crop, a bountiful harvest, and it's finishing up. And that whole situation has really gone without a major hitch. Weather-wise, labor dispute-wise, with the strikes and the trucking strikes. No big issues in the South that we can visualize right now.
All right. Livestock markets, how have they been trending?
Well, we've seen the hog market took a very hard down day. I believe it was on Wednesday. We recovered about 1/3 of that yesterday. Hopefully hogs try and retrace a little bit more to the upside in today's market action. But I think we've reestablished the downtrend in the hog market. Cattle's still in an uptrend, although we're getting concerned about the direction of the cash market. Also believe that the wholesale beef is nearing what I call a tipping point. So we're kind of looking for the cattle market to trade lower today, after working higher for 4 consecutive days.
Oil continues to inch on up. At what point might that start to affect the biofuels market?
I'm not sure. It's the crude oil's had a real impressive recovery. We don't have a real strong opinion on exactly how far up this market might go. It certainly supported the soybean oil complex. We've noticed that. So I think you'll probably see the crude oil market begin to stabilize and perhaps show signs of forming a range of trade.
All right. Thank you for joining us this morning, Dennis.
You're welcome.
All right. Once again, that was Dennis Smith, Senior Account Executive with Archer Financial. Coming up right after the break, one last look at your weather and a sneak peek at what's coming up on the Valley today.